Good morning, everybody. It's Christmas Eve morning, and I am going to do something that makes me a little bit uncomfortable. I'm making something that my husband requested that's a normal staple on our Christmas Eve get-togethers, which are usually, anywhere from 30 to 60 people, all cousins, aunts, uncles, and we usually get together on Christmas Eve to celebrate the holiday together. And this year, because of COVID, we're not doing that. It's going to be a very lonely Christmas. It's just going to be me and my husband and my mother and my son and maybe my niece also. But I asked my husband what he wanted for Christmas Eve dinner, and he said, I want your family's stuffed calamari or calamari. So I am not a fish person. I don't like it at all. I would eat it if you invited me over for dinner and that's what you were serving, but it's certainly not my first choice. But he absolutely loves the stuffed calamari, so I've never made it before. And I'm going to go out of my element and try to make something from a recipe, right? We have my family cookbook, and my aunt said if I follow it exactly, it will come out perfect. Well, I never follow anything exactly, but I'm sure it'll come out fine. But I'm a little hesitant about actually stuffing the squid. So anyway, the first step is, my dog's making some weird noise. The first step is to make the sauce that the calamari goes in. So I already sauteed some, 1 onion and 2 cloves of garlic, and I'm going to put that in the pan for the sauce. And I just love the smell of onions. It's just so amazing. Onions and garlic, my 2 favorite things. So you put that in a pan, and okay, so then you take 1 can of whole tomatoes, and honestly, I don't know why they don't just use chopped tomatoes, but they said take 1 can of whole tomatoes that you chop. So I've already chopped them, put them back in the can, so I'm going to put that in. But next time, I would just buy the chopped tomatoes. So you have your onions, your garlic, your tomatoes, then you're going to add, of course, if you can get the top off, some salt, and good, just a little bit, and some parsley. I'm going to say the recipe calls for 3 tablespoons, so that looks like 3 to me. And of course some ground pepper. As much as you like, of course, whatever your preference is. And then it calls for a couple of teaspoons, 1 teaspoon of tomato paste. So they have these really cool little tomato paste tubes, and I find them really helpful because sometimes I don't use a whole can of tomato paste, and so you waste it, but these tubes are squeezable, and you use exactly what you need. So I think that's about a teaspoon, maybe a little more, but you can always add water if it's a little bit too thick. And then the next thing, I'll just stir this up a bit, and then the next thing you put in this sauce is some cured black olives. And it says 10 cured black olives, pitted and chopped. So I imagine that's going to give it a little bit of a salty taste. Put that in there. And then the last ingredient, sorry, I'm getting a little close here. You can see my roots. I need to go to the hairdresser. Oh my gosh. The next thing that we do is just add some hot pepper. Ooh, that's a lot. Some hot pepper, based on your preference. Crushed red pepper. This crushed red pepper is from, I still think that's too much, is from one of my husband's friends. They grew them and then chopped them, and these things are so potent, it's unbelievable. So that's it. Very simple tomato sauce that we're going to cook the squid in. So once this is on the stove and just warmed up, the next step I'm going to do is the squid. Okay, so I've chopped a few of the tentacles up. I did not use the hard part, which is the part where all the little tentacles join together, like this here. I'm not going to use that. I just used the nice soft pieces of tentacles. And I'm also going to cut up one of the small squid to put in also, because it does call for all the fins and one calamari, or one squid. So I am going to just saute these once I finish chopping them. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to put those in this saute pan, and this is the same saute pan that I sauteed the onions in earlier. That way it has the flavor of the onions. And then I'm going to wipe my disgusting hands. Actually, I'll go wash them. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. So I'm going to put 2 cloves of garlic and mince that up. And then I'm just going to saute this for a couple of minutes and come back and assemble the squid. Okay. Okay. So I have my calamari that I just chopped. I'm going to take that out. Use this calamari here, put it in a bowl. And I hope my husband loves this. I hope it's as good as my Aunt Jerry. She's the one who makes these every year. So shout out to Aunt Jerry, I love you. You're the best. But she is amazing. She's made so many of the foods that our family traditionally did. And she has kept all those traditions alive. So I love her for that. I love her for a lot of reasons, but that's one of the reasons. So, okay, so let's put this together. So I have the stuffing, and again, this video is going to be a little bit funny because normally I know what I'm doing. This one I don't know what I'm doing. I'm following a recipe, and you know I hate to follow recipes, but I'm following a recipe and I'm going to make this. So bear with me as I sort of read the recipe book. So, okay, so we have our... Where am I on this? Okay, so then mix together the breadcrumbs, which is, let's see, how much bread? Okay, so 3/4 cup of breadcrumbs. Give or take, right? Okay, 3/4 cup of breadcrumbs. We're going to add parsley. And it is 2 tablespoons of parsley. I actually use breadcrumbs with seasoning in them, so it's going to taste a little bit like parsley, but that's good. Okay, then we're going to add some black pepper. Says a half a teaspoon, but do what you want. And then it says 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. So 1, 2, a little more. Okay, and 1 small egg. Okay, a little bit of olive oil. So this is not olive oil, this is vegetable oil, but hey. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to mix this up like this, and then I'm going to add any additional liquids if it's too dry, because it's supposed to be moist. So it says add more oil if you need to, but I think this is good. So here's the deal with these little babies, these little calamari, little squid. When we stuff them, we're not supposed to stuff them full because they can explode. I'm actually going to add 1 more drop of olive oil, and I'll show you what this consistency looks like. Okay, that should be good. Oh yeah, that's much better. Okay, so I don't know if you can see what this consistency is like, but it's moist and yet firm. And so now the stuffing begins. Okay, I have to get these other things off my cutting board here because they're disgusting. Thank God my sink is right here. I'm gonna just put those in there. Okay. So I am going to take these. Let me just read through it says with the demi-tasse spoon, but I don't think I need a demi-tasse spoon. Oh, let me grab a small spoon. Okay, here I am. I also guess I should get my toothpicks ready in case I need those. Well, I will need them. I'm not sure which kind of toothpicks they suggest you use. I don't know if they think like these sandwich toothpicks, which are a little bit thicker, are better, or regular toothpicks. So I have both out ready to attempt to stuff and seal those little babies up. So, okay. So you take one of these and you get your little spoon. And I was told by Aunt Jerry to just stuff it halfway. Oh, that's easy. Who knew? Okay. So I'm gonna just stuff all of these halfway. I should probably stuff them over this like that. I don't know. You know, as I said earlier, I'm not a fish person. These don't do anything for me. Give me a slab of beef, it's certainly my preference. Or, of course, give me pasta or pizza, that's even better. One of the other traditional foods that we do on Christmas Eve is these little fried dough things that Aunt Jerry makes again. She makes the dough and I help fry. All they are is, you know, yeast, flour, water, salt, and the batter is really, really soft. And then you get a spoonful of that and throw it in some hot oil, and they come up as little shapes, like different shapes, and they're so good. And that's what I live on Christmas Eve, because my family has all this fish, and like I said, I'm not a fish lover. They do have pasta, but it's pretty simple because they focus on all the fish. But again, you know, Christmas Eve is really just being about being together. In my eyes, it doesn't really matter what the food is, although we have so much of it all the time. So these squid are nicely filled. Let's see here. I'm getting sloppier. Over here. Okay. 2 more to go. We'll have 2, 4, 6, 7 of them. So, like I said, Scott will eat them. He'll probably have 4. My mother will probably have 1. And I don't know if Jonathan and Olivia will have 1. But, oh, and I should take one to Aunt Jerry. Shh, don't tell her. Because she's not making it this year because nobody in her family eats it. So, yeah, I'll take her 1 or 2. Okay, so here's where the complicated part comes in. So I've stuffed all the squid about 3/4 of the way through, and now I have to figure out how to seal them. And I'm gonna try it with the thicker toothpick. It might be too thick, and you sort of, I don't want to break the squid. Oh no, this is fine. I think this is fine. You just weave it through the squid to keep it sealed. So I'm going to try one with the thin one and one with the thick one. Let's see. This is a little baby squid, so let me see if this works. Okay, so either one of them work perfectly well. So I guess you can use whatever your preference is. So let's see. Yeah, this is fine. You're just weaving it in and out so that the top is sealed, so the stuffing doesn't come out. I hope I stuffed these enough. She said don't stuff them too much, but down at the bottom there isn't really any stuffing. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, so I'm just going to blow through this and then I'll come back to you and show you the next step. Okay, so all of the squid are stuffed. And so the next step is to just saute these squid for just a second until they turn just slightly white. Okay, so now I'm back at the stove with my dog under my feet, as they always are, and I turned on my frying pan. I'm going to lower this temperature, and I am going to add a couple of these babies. Can you see that? Yeah, okay. And I'm just going to saute them ever so slightly. And once they're sauteed, then they go in my sauce. And here's my sauce. Not a lot of sauce. It just needs to complement the squid. Can you see? I just, just a little color to them. So again, I'm going to blow through this frying process, and then I'll show you how to put them in there. Okay, so here's my stuffed calamari. I threw them all in, after sauteing them, I threw them all in the sauce, and they're going to sit there and just stew for, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes or so, and then we'll enjoy these for our Christmas Eve dinner. Not me, everybody else but me. And I just want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. And I hope that your new year starts out right and that 2021 is filled with family, friends, good food, and a home that you love. So, Happy New Year to you too. Bye-bye.